I'm gonna be wrapping this whole side, showing y'all how I do that. So just lock in for a second so y'all can get some information. If you're watching this after the live, then be sure to like, subscribe. It's just gonna be a live of me doing that install. So let's go ahead and get the wrap. Today, we're gonna be wrapping it in Nardo Gray, or continuing to wrap it in Nardo Gray. But we gotta map the wrap out first, so. What's up, man? What's going on? About to map out this Lexus right here. Should get this thing wrapped. Cut out the bottom first. See how much we got on the top. Bring this up a little bit. Never throw away your scraps. Scraps can be used for door handles, gas caps, shark fins, stuff like that. All right, so that's gonna be the lower piece right there. Yeah, man, we educating on this live. All right, so got the lower piece cut out. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this first door out. So we just wanna make sure the wrap is a little bit past the fender. Then we gotta find the middle. There's the middle right here. I'm gonna go ahead and cut out this window area first so I can see what I'm doing. And make sure you feel so you don't overcut. You can feel the window trim. For this, I ain't gonna cut it too wide because I cut a little short on the bottom of the doors. May I tell you I want to wrap my motorcycle? Oh yeah, you ordered the stuff same night. Glad I did. Oh snap! Hey, congratulations, man. Have you let it sit in the sun, see if you got any peel back and stuff like that? And I'm glad you actually did it, man. Charmander, you want to learn how to rap, man? I got plenty of videos you can go watch. I appreciate the donation, bro. Crazy that people do this as a job. I just do it because I like it. Yeah, it's actually very profitable. Well, this is my business, it's not really a job. Hey, what's up, man? What's going on, y'all, man? Y'all go ahead and throw a like in the chat so we get the chat boosted. Like I said, I'm gonna be showing y'all how to wrap this side. I might get to some of the back area in a few, so just stick with me. Let me get a moderator in the chat. Just stick with me. So now we're gonna cut out these doors. These are some crazy doors too, so give myself enough room to work into the door area. Let's see what we got. Bring that one all the way down. So that's the first door right there. I checked it with a heat gun, running the bike for 15 minutes. Yeah, you gotta check in the summer again. The summer is when it really hit. But like if you did a tank in multiple pieces, you should be good. Yeah, the knifeless tape, man. Yeah, for sure. I mean, Vivid shrinks a little bit, so you'll really know in the summer. But I mean, you chilling right now. It's wintertime. Not saying that you know what I'm saying? You probably still did what you needed to do. It probably still come out good. But yeah, wintertime is a little more forgiving. All right, so for this door, can't even see where I need a cut. All right, excuse me, sorry, that was gross. So I gotta cut real meticulous. Let me bring you over here so y'all can see. This door isn't a normal one. It goes up into the corner and then it comes back down, which is a little annoying. But I think for this one, I'm gonna actually chase it in the gap. That way I know I cut it exactly how it needs to be cut. Chasing in the gap means you have your blade in the actual gap of the door. Which is right here. Get a magnet to hold it in place. All right, chase down this gap. And you don't want your blade all the way extended out. Good part about chasing in the gap is you don't need to see what you're doing. We got the perfect cutout, so this will be good. True, I got enough material. Yeah, I always get extra material, man. You never know when you're gonna have to rewrap something. Even with me, like, I still give myself like 5 to 10 feet on these cars, because even if I install it perfect, you know, it might get chased out by like contamination or something, and you got to rewrap it anyway, because just one crack of the car was holding a pocket of sand, and it was a bunch of contamination. You just, I mean, that's just what comes with the territory. Sometimes you just got to redo it. So let me show y'all how we do this back area. Now that I got both my doors cut out, I want to go ahead and open this back door. Since I don't have the handles, I gotta climb into the car, pull the little greasy ball that's right here, which is annoying. My hands is all greasy, but it's cool. And the reason we go ahead and open the door on this is because I want to feed the wrap into this door jamb a little bit. So now we can slide the wrap forward a little bit. Make sure we can get it in that door jamb. Make sure everything lines up first. All right, we good here. All right, so now I can cut out the rest of this excess. Got that out. I can pull the lining paper off the back. I'm gonna go ahead and rip this one up here. This one's gonna be a pain. These wrinkles out, see? There it is. So let's glass this a little bit better. All right, that's a little better. Let's just lock in this body line right here. So whenever I do pop these panels up, pop out on me. Yeah, we can work with that. All right, so now I got that area. I want to work on this. These magnets off. This requires a little bit of stretch. Stretch it down this curve. But I'm gonna keep it up in the air. Pull about halfway and glass it halfway first. A little short. Then once I get to this bottom area right here, we gotta curve it. So when I do this area, I'm pulling the top and I'm angling the bottom. And that's gonna turn the wrap. And that gets you that full coverage that you're looking for. The reason we do it like that is normally if you try to cut it down here and give yourself all this extra slack, you don't have enough vinyl for this corner of the door. So you normally cut the wrap straight out and then angle it down. So I can't even put a screen protector on my phone. Nasty work. All right, so let's show you how we work out these little wrinkles right here. Light a little bit closer. Let's see. There we go. All right, so since we already separated the wrap with the body line, I could come in here. You want to have some slip. This is going to prevent you from scratching. So it's like 2 pumps of baby soap, and then the rest of it can be water, and that's just going to prevent you from scratching. So with these, I need to get the vinyl up off the car, give it a little heat. So make sure my hand is dry. Vinyl off the car. Pop it up. Heat this area. These are soft wrinkles. Should be able to work these out with my finger. All right, cool. Re-glass this back area a little bit. All right. Now, we got this huge recess spot. So you just want to get that heated up. What kind of car is this? It's a Lexus. Do you work on? I work on everything. No matter what it is. All right, so once we got that heated up, get y'all a better angle here. Once we got that heated up, we're gonna push in this recess spot. The reason we just push it in like this, let's see, I actually pull it back this way first. The reason we push it in like this is because, oh, hold on, let me just do this real quick. So when you push in that recess spot first, you basically eliminate like pretty much all of the tension that would have been fed into that spot. And then also, if you try to squeegee it back and forth, you're gonna have glue lines going back and forth. But when you lay it all at once like that, it comes out super clean. Wrap doesn't look stupid. So we laid it into that recess spot. Now, how long to learn how to wrap? It depends on you as a person, honestly. I'd say to be pretty efficient at it, soloing cars by yourself, probably like at least 2 to 3 years to be really good. Most difficult part about the craft, I'd say sometimes it can be the disassembly, even though like personally I went to school for collision repair and I didn't like it, so I started doing this. For a lot of people, it's disassembly because they don't know what they're doing and they'll break a lot of things trying to disassemble a car so they can reach, certain areas with ease. Other than that, my next downfall was when I first started commercial wraps, because unlike this, if I mess this up, I could just pull out another piece of wrap and rewrap it. If I mess up a commercial wrap, that's like $800 I have to pay to get another custom print. So, and then sometimes if the design is too crazy, like the pattern won't match up or the colors will be off. So it's like, you got to get it right the first time with commercial. And then a lot of people struggle with bumpers too. How do you learn how to wrap? Just subscribe to me. I got a bunch of videos that you can watch. All right, so now Got this area up here that's all bunched up. We want to get this lifted off the car a little bit. Pretty cold in the shop, and I don't want this to rip. So I'm gonna just give it some heat. The wrap will rip on you if it's too cold. So now, all right, now we got that off. We can get this top glassed out, so just keeping the wrap off of the car. Heating up to my hand. Spread the tension out. Same thing for the bottom. This area, I'm gonna lift it up a little bit. I don't even need heat, I just need it to be lifted, so. What lessons have you learned from a business perspective? Oh man, you can't please everybody. There's some people, and I'm a very meticulous person, but there's some people who are even more meticulous than me and don't understand sometimes, like, this is wrap at the end of the day. Like, if somebody asks for you to wrap their door jambs, but they want like little stuff like this, like hinges or whatever, like on a Jeep or something like that, it's like, bro, you're better off painting that. We could plastic dip that. They're like, no, I want it wrapped. And it's like, that's not, it's not feasible. It's a sticker. At the end of the day, the really minuscule details are kind of hard to perform with wrap, or just dealing with difficult customers in general, Other than that, if there's growing pains, so learning how to scale your business, learning how to attract clients, it could be frustrating in the beginning. I started out in my driveway, so trying to learn how to start that whole process up was kind of frustrating to me, but luckily we got YouTube. So that's how I learned. That's why I always give back to this community. Just say, I also lay my heat gun on the seat. Yeah, no, definitely. Definitely. I think it's like a habit thing. If you turn your heat gun off every time you're done using it, it's just a habit. But if you're one of those guys who leaves it running, you're in trouble. But no. So the tip of the heat gun is covered by this. I learned to get this because I burned myself probably like 10 times from the tip of the heat gun touching me. So no, the tip of the heat gun isn't gonna burn the seats or anything. All right, so when we curved everything, some of the wrinkles got stuck on the panel. Wrap kind of cold. Like I said, I don't want to rip it. I didn't really order a lot of extra of this, so heat it up before I lift it. Leave it off the car a little bit, give it some heat. Not really stretching it, I'm just glassing it to my finger and then just letting it fall. I can squeegee out all this air. Same thing for the top. Heat. I have to get this. Where can I buy this adapter? What you mean? What adapter? Oh, for the heat gun, go on, it's not an adapter, it just comes like that. So go on metrorestyling.com. They have a heat gun called a Weldly heat gun. Or you might be able to find like certain ones on Amazon that just have the cover for the heat gun. Like I said, it keeps you from burning yourself, keeps the tip from burning everything that you lay the heat gun down around. Hey, handsome, can I live with you? Who are you? You should create your own gloves as merchandise. You know, I actually thought about that. I'm getting to that phase. My main thing first was to get like social media traction and then get more like partnerships to legitimize the brand. And then next thing I want to do is, of course, get into e-commerce, but I want YouTube to create like passive income for me first. And we're like, 100 hours from being monetized right now. So y'all help your boy out. Go watch some videos, man. Should be monetized though within the next week. And then after that, yeah, the merchandise will come because you could attach it all to your YouTube page and stuff. So I'm just feeding this wrap into this area. Took the window trim out just because I want the wrap to be a little deeper. Now with these doors, I didn't put Knifeless tape down. So I'm just going to use the guide of the top of the door. Or should I? No, actually, I'll just cut it. All right, let's bring y'all back over here. Drop it down. Want to help out my pops with wrapping his boat. Should I practice before? Boats really aren't that hard. If you're just talking about like wrapping the side of it, that's like something you can practice on. So that could be a first project for you. It's probably easier than the car. From England? No, I haven't. But I got somebody on that I'm doing mid-year. I'm doing his RV. So yeah, the biggest thing I've done besides that is like an MRI trailer. It's about the size of like an 18-wheeler. But no, not a mobile home. All right, y'all. They said it's cold in here, so let's heat this up. All right. Before I even fully glass this out, try to get this little soft wrinkle. Came right out. All right, now we can glass this. This car is flesh. What you mean? All right, some wrinkles right here we need to handle. Instead of trying to fight these, See, I got a little tension right here. I'm just gonna pull the whole thing back up. So this, I think, is a soft wrinkle. See if I can push it out after heating it. Nope. All right. Now I want to give this some tension because I don't want it to touch the car after I shrink it back. All right, I'm gonna just glass this whole thing. Do you have any training courses to start your own wrapping business? No, that's also one of the other things that I have on that I'll be doing in the future. I mean, I have podcasts that you can watch that can help you, where I talk to people about, you know, how I started from my driveway and stuff like that. No actual training courses yet. For the most part, I just wanted to do free stuff for you know, this year, possibly next year, maybe something, you know, where I start doing like more in-depth courses, because that's stuff that's like not really like popular on YouTube. So yeah, I would have to turn into like a course on Teachable or something. But yeah, something down the road. If you want to, just subscribe to me, and down the road when I do a course like that, I'll have it posted on Instagram that it's out now or something like that. But having a shop is not that hard. Mainly, all it is just committing to wanting to do it and just, you know, making it happen. A lot of people hesitate, and that's the main pain point, is not trying because you don't believe in yourself. Like I said, I literally started in my driveway with a $100 wrap kit. So now we're gonna feed this wrap into this recess. Definitely open a community on school. What with Alex? Yeah, I watch him. I should do that. I didn't know if it was the same thing as Teachable. All right, so customer did not pay for a door jamb wrap, but you always want to feed the wrap somewhat into these recess spots. That way, when they close the door, they're not looking at their original color through the cracks. So we'll wrap it like up to this edge or something like that, but we're not doing the whole door jambs. It's not what they, you know, that's not what they pay for. Most people don't pay for that. And if you're, you know, thinking about getting your car wrapped and you think the shop is gonna do that, they're not. It's like an extra additional cost. Some shops don't even offer that service. We do, but it's a different price. With these, you don't want to just push it in. You want to feed it in. That way you don't have a bunch of bubbles running along this recess spot. How much does a wrap kit cost? All right, so for a wrap kit, literally I started with the Amazon wrap kit. I didn't know any better. Those kits suck, but to get you by, it is a good starter kit. And I would recommend, well, actually, instead of me wasting your time, I have a video that says the 10 best wrap tools to use. Just go watch that. It literally has every single thing that you need. And then how do you work out your prices? So prices, 9 times out of 10, sedans are going to be $2,500. Coupes are going to be $3,000. SUVs are going to be $3,500. Now that's based off of the type of material I use, cost to upkeep the shop, stuff like that. So if you're running a business for the first time out of your driveway or garage, your overhead cost is a lot less. So you could charge people the material cost and then $800 to $1,000 for your labor. So material costs could be whether you're using cheetah wrap, which is $500, or using a good wrap like 3M or Avery, which is $700 to $800. That would be your material costs. And then your labor, I just say make sure when you start out maybe $800, but as you get better, you know, $1,000. If you really grind, you could get like 2 cars done in a week. So that's like $2,000 a week. But, you know, in the beginning, you're going to be a little slow. You're not going to be at that level. It's just going to be 1 car a week, which is $1,000 a week. It's $4,000 a month, which really ain't that bad, especially if you could do a car in like four days and you want to knock out a chrome delete or something on the weekend. You could get closer to like 5,000, something like that. 5 or 6,000 a month. I typically average around 6,000 to 10,000 a month. And is this what they call inlays? No, it's not an inlay. An inlay is when you have like a super recess spot, like let's say I wrap this area and then I used another piece to wrap this area right here. The inlay would be on this body line. Typically that's where we like to cut the wrap or inlay it, because on a body line it's not seen when you layer it on top of each other. Hit the light right here. Yeah, hit the like button, man, if y'all feel like I'm providing y'all with value. Also, like I said, I got a bunch of videos that really, if you want to learn, it's there, man. It's all there. I'm not hiding anything. I'm even showing like how to do commercial jobs, which if you can make $4,000 a month off of regular color changes, you can make $8,000 a month off of commercial jobs. So it's very profitable. And this isn't even like the highest margin business for films. Tint and PPF is even higher margin. I don't have videos on those, but trying to convince my boys that work here that do the tint and PPF to put out content for people. So who knows? This is gold, cars, 2,100, SUVs, trucks, 30,000. Labor costs, yeah, man, it's good money. Like I said, you can make, if you get to where I'm at, where I'm doing a mix of commercials, color changes, chrome deletes. Like I said, I average anywhere from like, like $6,000 to $8,000 a month. So. And that's just standard pricing. That's not like a shop that's overcharging. You have shops that charge people like $4,000 for a sedan. Like they'll up the price $1,000 in each of those categories. I just think that's crazy unless you're living in California wrapping celebrities' cars. Angel, I appreciate it, man. All right, so now that we got that, we're just gonna continue to feed the wrap into this area. So, just giving it a little heat. Rubbing the edge first so you don't get one of those pinch wrinkles. The heat, all it does is soften the wrap so it's more malleable, so you can fit it into these, you can feed it into these areas easier. It doesn't even need to be this deep, but I like to wrap my stuff a little bit deeper. But we're gonna trim out most of this. Get y'all on this side. Actually, it's kind of hard to put this thing up. All right, that's a good angle. Soften up the wrap. That is overkill, but it's cool. Get to this corner right here. Want to prevent wrinkles, so I'm gonna cut down and out, and then I can wrap that corner right there. And heat it first. Get a little stretch around that corner so it's not all wrinkled up. All right, so now, whenever you're cutting this on the car, you wanna make sure every time, if you're cutting on the car, and this is for people who's been doing it a while, don't do this. Use Knifeless tape if you're not experienced. But you want a fresh blade. This way, you could score the wrap and not actually cut through it, and the wrap will rip. So most people, they use a dull blade and they try to score it, and they have to press really hard with a dull blade, and they scratch the car on the other side. So just keep that in mind if you're cutting on a car. You got a little experience, you're working on your car, you want to see, if you could, and it happens, like, people don't always lay down Knifeless tape, and then that's where the skill comes in, where you actually have to, not have, like, those safety nets. But just glide in a blade, and then it'll easily rip. I'm not pressing it into the car, I'm just gliding it on the wrap. And that's gonna, when it's sharp like this, it's gonna create enough of a score so that you could just rip it with ease. Pressure is everything on that though. I'm gonna finish cutting this area out. Keep in mind, you're keeping the blade as close to the car as possible. You don't want it up here, because then you're gonna cut into the car, but you're keeping it as close to the car as possible, and that's gonna help you to score it. This area, or just go around here. Go ahead and cut this. Now for the rest of this, I want to cut it on this actual edge, just to make sure when I close the door, all I see is gray.
and take your time. If you're uncomfortable, you're gonna rush, you're gonna blade the car. So make sure you're comfortable always. Now, when I close the door, that gap is all the way wrapped. I'm good to go. So when the sun hits in these gaps, I'm not looking at this original color right here. So open it back up. Next thing you need to do is, since you did, push wrap into a recess spot, if you don't go back and post heat it, then it's gonna bubble back out. So for the really deep recess spots, like right here, I already got a bubble forming. Just gonna poke it, lay those down real quick. Before I go to post heat it. Me, I don't leave anything to risk. I post heat with a torch. That's gonna make sure that it gets to the temperature it needs to be. You're just going over the area and torching. What this does is kill the memory of the wrap. So when I kill the memory of the wrap, it's not gonna pop back out of this recess spot. Don't hold it in one spot for too long. You could go back and check, see if you got any bubbles. If you do got any little bubbles, just go ahead and pop them. Run the torch back over that area. Make sure they're gone for good. All right, then you're good to go on that. Now next up is the wheel well area. So for this, there's a lot of techniques you could use. One of them is making a bunch of little relief cuts. This is just gonna make the wrap feed into this area easier because it is a lot of tension. So now you just wanna heat it first before you try to push it in. If y'all got any questions, need a quote on the car that you might want to get wrapped. Like, it's not even, the car doesn't have to come to me, but I could give you an idea of what it should cost. Not every car is going to cost the same. Like, if I'm wrapping a Supra, I'm going to charge like, I don't know, like $3,000 to $3,500 for that, just because that car is 10 times harder to wrap than a Honda. Clamshell hood, crazy bumper on it, the crazy rear bumper. Trying to one piece the trunk on that, it's all a pretty big task. So now that we got that wrapped underneath, just sliding our blade along the inside. And that side's good to go. Now we can work on this tail light area. All right, so this tail light, seems like I missed a wrinkle, so let's see if these are hard or soft wrinkles. That one's soft, I was able to push it back. I know that one's soft. Got this one right here. Try to soften it up really good, but I'm pretty sure that's a hard wrinkle. Yep, that's a hard wrinkle. So what I'm gonna do for that is I'm gonna get closer to this edge. And I'm gonna round off this edge just so I don't rip it. Now I can lift it without worrying about the wrap ripping down the panel. I'm gonna heat it first. We're gonna pick it up. All right, we good. We almost messed up. All right. Now I was able to get that wrinkle out. Where'd my squeegee go? Dang. Bear with me, y'all. Let me go grab another squeegee. Oh, it's right here. All right, so it ripped on me, but it didn't rip on me bad. Ripped on me just enough to where I could tuck it underneath. Still be good. So now all you want to do is set a quote for just my hood on a Charger. 9 times out of 10, it's gonna be like $300, give or take, depending on the shop. If you do a, I'd pay like a solo installer, probably doing that out of his garage. Probably charge you like $200. That's an easy thing to do. How much would it be on a 2017 BRZ? The BRZ, probably $2,500. The Supra, probably $2,750 to $3,000. And yeah, for sure, man. Like I said, y'all feel like I'm providing y'all value, go ahead and throw a like in the chat. Got plenty of videos for y'all to watch if you want to learn how to do it yourself, or if you just want to be more more informed. So whenever you go to a wrap shop, they're not bullshitting you. My goal is to expand the industry, kind of cut out some of the guys who are like ripping people off and killing like the perspective on vinyl wraps. They're not meant to be a permanent thing. It's a color change. It's even the film I'm using, this is high quality film, but this will only last you 4, maybe 5 years if you ceramic coat it and keep it garage kept. So yeah, it's not paint. It's not a 10-year thing, but it's for people who want to pay less for something that they, probably aren't even going to keep that long, or, you got a brand new car, you just want a cooler color. It's a consumer product. GMC, hopefully your clear coat isn't messed up. Those normally get messed up, but yeah, you're looking at probably around 35, 32, 30, 32.50 in some cases. Rounding that edge like that doesn't, running out the edge so it doesn't rip is a gem. Yeah, for sure. If you're gonna cut it straight, and like I said, I just lifted it and it still ripped on me, but it was rounded so it didn't rip out that way. What car is this? This is a Lexus. All right, so we just want to lift it off this top edge too. Now I did do a stretch to this corner. So with something like this, if you're worried about wrinkles and stuff like that, just know you could stretch it to this corner, and whenever you heat it, it's gonna shrink itself to the car. You see how it just shrunk itself to the car? And I didn't have to worry about fighting wrinkles all along this edge. So now all I have to do is come back and just work it down. And there's zero wrinkles. Like I'm not fighting any wrinkles right here. Thanks, bro. They were trying to eyeball me and I appreciate it. Yeah, for sure, man. Like I said, standard is gonna be 27 for coupes, unless you have something like a Miata with a soft top, then it should be less than that. If you have like a sedan, typically about 3,000, and then an SUV, 35, unless you have something like a Tesla. It's a one-day wrap. Like, it doesn't use a lot of wrap. It should be like damn near $3,000 or less. or if you have something like a Bronco, soft top, you know what I'm saying? Like they don't have a roof, they don't have like the upper part of the quarter panel. Like there's a lot of stuff that you don't have to wrap on that. So yeah, if y'all ever got any questions, you can hop in the chat and ask me. Same thing for like chrome deletes and stuff like that. All right, so now most of the times, like a car like this where it's got like black paint or dark paint, you do not need to take the tail lights out, because even when you look into these cracks, if it's wrapped deep enough, it's a dark colored car, so you really can't tell. Now, if this was a yellow car, I would have to take the tail lights out. So just know that too, like depending on your car color can change the price also. If you have a black car, there is minimal disassembly needed because it's a black car. If I cut it right here on a black car and I just feed it into the crack, there's a shadow in the crack, so the black's just gonna blend in with that. But if it's yellow and I cut it too short, there's gonna be a sliver of yellow in the crack, so it needs to be disassembled more. What brand is your favorite? Which ones do you avoid? I use cast films only. I'm a solo installer. There's no point in me dealing with super tacky film. It's just gonna slow me down, the amount of cars that I could put out. Now, some of those calendar films do have really nice colors. You know, like I'll wrap my car in a Nazatech or Tiny Bot, stuff like that. But when it comes to customer car, I'm always gonna recommend, you know, cast films, just because one, cast films are gonna last longer than calendar films. Calendar films are like 2 to 3 years. Cast films are like 4 to 5. And then also, like I said, if you're a solo wrapper, it's just easier to work with. It doesn't tack to the car as much. You can relift and do what you need to do without having to like put your fist under the wrap to lift it up off the car. A lot of people, when they DIY stuff like this, they'll go on Amazon and buy Vivid Wrap, and it's like, it's a nightmare. Like, it's a nightmare for them. And all you got to do is go on metrorestyling.com, you know, get some Avery, get some 3M, KPMF, or Orifol. There's Cheetah Wrap, which is like the cheapest cast film. Something I would recommend if you're, you know what I'm saying, doing a car for yourself. It's cheap. You can make mistakes. And once you actually learn how to wrap, then you could go back and you could use the more expensive stuff like 3M or Avery. But your first car wrap is going to be pretty low quality, so no point in paying a ton for wrap in the beginning until you're really good at it. So I'm just sliding my blade along the bottom of the tail light in open space. So I'm not cutting anything back there behind it. Then I just want to go back and give it some heat. After that, I can lay it down with the squeegee. Yeah, calendar film eats up time. I could wrap a whole car, if I wanted to, I could wrap a whole car in 2 days. If I'm using calendar film, it's just gonna push me back a day, just because if it comes to like wrapping the hood, I have to relift the wrap 6, 7, 8 times. That introduces more contamination into the wrap. And then it's like, okay, now I gotta throw this piece out. If I'm using 3M, I could leave it on the car. I could pull it from one direction and it's floating on the car. So it just glasses. A lot easier process than trying to, you know what I'm saying? Trying to like fight with calendar film. And it's crazy because calendar film is like 600, around 600 bucks. So you really don't want to pay an extra 100 or 200 bucks to have a film that's going to last you twice the amount of time. You know, only reason to get calendar film is if there's a specific color you want. Other than that, no reason to be using calendar film, especially as a business. You're just cutting down your efficiency. you know, how many wraps you can actually put out the door, unless you're charging people that $4,000 like I was talking about earlier. Then it kind of levels out. So blue tape is going to reduce the tackiness level too, especially when you're trying to work around stuff like this. So I'm just lifting the wrap off of the tail light. Go back with one of my tucking tools. What's going on? Hola, ¿cómo estás? I'm tucking it behind the tail light. Then for this top edge, try a little closer. I'll turn this top edge. We got the blue tape down. It's gonna be easier to feed it into this little crack. Should get it fed in as much as you want. What type of blue tape are you using? So this is Scotch. Honestly, it really doesn't matter what type of tape you use. This is just what was available at the store when I went. I normally like the tape that's less tacky, because if you put this tape on wrap, it'll leave glue residue behind. So the tape that's on Amazon, like those cheap tapes, I'd almost just recommend those. They don't leave like residue behind. But painter's tape, anything like that is gonna work the best. All right, so as y'all can see, in the crack there, we good to go. And you can take your blue tape off. And also putting this blue tape in this area, whenever you need to cut out this piece, the blue tape is just gonna prevent you from blading the light if you still don't, you know, have good blade pressure yet. Definitely, like I said, if you're just starting out, definitely recommend just disassemble it. For me, it's like, oh, the customer wants his car back in 3 days. So I take apart what I need to, you know what I'm saying? Like, take the spoiler off, took these lights out here, stuff like this. But as for this, it's not something I need to take out. So I do partial disassembly. I know what I need to and don't need to take off. This is a Lexus. There's no license plate on it. What's up, bro? Hello, hello. All right, so like I said, tape helped me push it into that area. And I can take this tape off later. Let's go ahead and show y'all how I do this top piece. I got some Knifeless on the top piece. Push y'all up here so you can see. So Knifeless is on the roof, just because this roof is one of those that doesn't have the trim. Knifeless is that green piece right there. So what I want to do for this, because I did give it a little stretch over here, I just want to relift it and reset the film. You see how it wrinkles up like that? Because I gave it a little stretch. So I need to reset it. And then squeegee it back down. That way, whenever I cut it, it's not gonna just wrinkle back on me. Like I said, you never wanna feed it into the crack. You never wanna just push it into the crack. We're gonna feed it in with the squeegee. That way we don't have peel back. I appreciate it, brother. What's up, Dale? My boy Dale. All right, lifting the wrap off the car. feeding it into this recess spot. All right, so now that we got that, it's crazy because a lot of people don't know how to use knifeless tape. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know how to in the beginning. But let me show y'all. So you wanna make sure you have a long enough tail. You don't want the knifeless to be like right here and then you're trying to pull it. You wanna put it back here, put your finger down, give it a tug. And yes, this is Nardo Gray. And once you get to the wrap, put your finger on the wrap, give it another tug, and then we could pull it. Pull it all the way down. And it does all the cutting for you. Super clean cut. Whenever I do the roof piece, all I gotta do is come back and lay another piece of knifeless tape right on top of the gray wrap, and do another cut. And it's 10 times quicker than trying to do it with the blade. All right, so now what I gotta do is feed it into this gasket. So with this, again, blade is kind of dull. I'm gonna go ahead and break that, get us a fresh blade. Now that I got this fresh blade, I want to trim. Let me even see if I'm able to get behind this gasket. If the gasket is too tight sometimes it's just best to trim it all the way out. Okay, this gasket ain't super tight, so we're gonna tuck it behind the gasket. It's always gonna come out the cleanest like that. So we're gonna cut on one side of the gasket. All this excess off. Once you get that, now we're gonna do the two-tuck method. So with the two-tuck method, I'm gonna lift the gasket. See that gasket? I'm gonna lift with one, and I'm gonna tuck it with the other. Then I could just chase it. So I'm lifting and I'm tucking at the same time. I'm lifting the gasket that way, and I'm tucking the wrap down. If you get pushed out, just restart. Lifting and tucking. I don't know if y'all can really see it. I got to do some research. Let me tighten this up a little bit. Research on what, Dale? Lifting with one side, tucking with the other one. All the way to the bottom. Now, if this was a yellow car, you wouldn't be able to see anything because the wrap is tucked behind the gasket. So now I could do this trunk area. I want to cut a little past the gap because earlier when I was looking at it, it's a pretty wide gap. So I'm gonna give myself enough wrap to feed down into this area. All right, so now that we got this wrap off the car, let me go pop the trunk. Oh, hopefully that didn't rip anything. Now we're good. All right. So now we can look in here. What you go to music playlist when you're in the rapping zone? Oh man, we keep it old school, bro. Hold on, let me get my phone. We keep it old school. 90s R&B. Right now, I'm listening to some Anthony Hamilton. You know what I'm saying? You gotta keep it, you know, slow jams, cool, calm, collective. Cause this right here will test your patience. All right, so I got it cut in this corner area right here. I'm gonna do another, or actually I'm not gonna do one for that. So I'm gonna lay this bottom piece first. If I want to, I could pull this trim out. If this was a color change, like a legit one, you could pull all this out, but I don't need to because it's a darker car. Just gonna get your tucking tool, tuck it down into this area. Then we could cut that. Cut this out here. I want to wrap this corner a little bit. All right, so with this little corner, touch this with the torch. So we stretched it a little bit. All right, now this upper piece, I'm gonna heat it, relax it. Feed it into that little recess. Then I could come back and trim that out too. Go back and post heat it. Make sure everything laid down. And you're good to go on that. As far as this, it's a Lexus. All right, so now that we got that, we can go up to that front area. I'll show y'all how I do this little piece right here. So I don't know if y'all saw, maybe some of the people are sticking around still from earlier, maybe not. But when I did this front area, a lot of people don't do this, but when you're coming down to this area, you want to stretch it side to side and put it down. That's going to make the tension run left and right. You also want this blue tape right here. It's going to allow you to work into this crack easier. Since it's black, I didn't put like an inlay piece because it doesn't matter. It's a black car. Gaps are black. But you come in here and you can feed it in without the worry of wrinkles because you've already stretched your tension side to side. Now, I want to go ahead and cut this out at an angle. It's going to allow me to pull the wrap across down in this area. And for the rest of this, I'm going to be cutting on the opposite panel. Give it some heat. It's going to want to lay down in that crack a little bit. Run this down in there. Then all I have to worry about is trimming out this right here. Y'all got any questions, let me know. You need any quotes on anything, whatever y'all need to know. And then also throw a like in the chat. Feel like I'm providing y'all value. Help a small creator. More like a magnet gray. On the website it says Nardo. Could be a little darker. Everybody has brands that they call Nardo gray, and the variations of how light or dark it is different. All right, so now that we got that, now this area definitely does not have to be perfect because you're just gonna come right back with the trim and pretty much cover everything. This trim right here covers everything. And with that, you got the whole quarter panel wrap. So you can close these doors. Got all the wrap all along this edge is covered. Everything into the door jamb back there. So now we could go ahead and do a door wrap. Which I prefer doing the front door first, just because unlike the rear door, I don't have to feed it into a secondary reset spot, but we pre-cut these out already earlier. Now all I have to do is come back, throw a little magnet down to this side. Don't forget this step, taping off the trim. That's gonna allow you to feed it up under here. You could take these off. Some of them are a lot easier to take off than others. When it comes down to time, it doesn't really matter. Also, when it comes to somebody removing the wrap, if it's a darker car, don't take the trim off, because whenever it comes time for you to unwrap it, you're gonna take the trim off again to pull the wrap off. So just keep that in mind for cars that don't need you to take that stuff off. Sometimes it just makes it easier for the customer. They'll thank you later. Or they'll be cussing you, you know. They're like, man, why he wrapped this deep? This was unnecessary. So you gotta think of that too. If it's unnecessary, don't do it. Just piss the customer off. All right, we just want to cut away the excess film. Make life a little easier. Make it look so easy and experiment, and it's not easy, but that's why I'm here. I'm here, bro, on live 2-3 times a week. So you can see the process. And this is stuff you got to go to a wrap class, pay $1,000-$2,000 for. Even if I made a course, you know, this is going to be more interactive and more, you know, valuable than me making a course if you just tune into the lives. Because you get the in real time of me wrapping the whole side of a car, or the in real time, you know, like the front bumper I'll do a video for, more in depth explaining it. But like these doors, a lot of people, I don't know if y'all see people, they pull it halfway and they work the vinyl down back and forth. Complete waste of time. If you're an actual production shop, don't do that. That's how I could tell somebody's new or they haven't, you know, dialed in on their skills yet. You just want to pull the whole thing out, tack one side down, now I'm just going to glass one side, tack this side down, glass this side, that little wrinkle right here, heat that out. But now that I got pretty much glass, my tension's running that way, I don't have to worry about fighting the wrinkles that's running up and down. And that's what slows people down. So now I could just get my squeegee and wherever my slip went. Wet the panel or wet your squeegee, either one, it doesn't matter. I'll work the top first, so I'll lift up the top. Something on my squeegee. Oh, it's something on the wrap. Just working the wrap towards the top. A lot easier, right? Versus working your way down the panel. Make sure you got no bubbles left behind. Top's done. Now I could go ahead and start on the bottom. Let me bring my light back over here. And with the bottom, if I need to, I can lift the wrap from down here. For the most part, I shouldn't. But just so you know, you can do the same thing that other people do. Just keep tension down here and squeegee back and forth. And this wrap is, what is this? Lexus, so it's a little more tackier. If this was 3M or Avery, I wouldn't even have to touch the wrap right now. Like it'd just be floating on the panel. So this is like, kind of like a semi-calendar film. It's not a calendar film, but it has the feel of one because of how tacky it is. Lexus is probably the hardest cast film to work with. Get a wrinkle, just get your heat gun, heat that area up, let it relax, go somewhere else, finish squeegeeing out this side. So yeah, now you see why like following the lining paper down the panel is like a beginner skill. It probably takes like 30 minutes for a door, when if you do it this way, it takes you like 2 minutes to squeegee out the entire door. We're done. That quick. So it's just all about like what techniques you use, man. I'll show y'all how to do this door cup. Got a little wrinkle over here I need to get out real quick. So yeah, that quick to lay that panel, right? 10 times easier. But let's show y'all how to do this door cup. Bring y'all down to the side a little bit. Get the light on it. And get me a chair, because I'm an old man, my back be hurting. I'm not old. All right, so we got the door cup, right? You can see it? Yeah. All right, so we want to start off by finding the edge. Once we found the edge, we want to wrap those edges in a little deeper. For this specific door cup, I'm going to push all the air this way because these pieces are holding the wrap up, and that's my air escape. But normally, you're going to split it in half, push the air this way, push the air that way. I want it to be heated up some. And just pushing all the air to that area. That's simple. And you want to go back and post heat it. Don't want nothing popping out. Once you do that, got some wrinkles here, right? So if you do happen to get wrinkles in the door cup or around the edges, it's because you didn't let the heat cool off, which I just didn't do. So you're gonna make a little incision where the handle's gonna go, pull the wrap out, heat it, and you can go back. Face reveal. What's up? Anyways, just pushing that in. Get the bottom a little bit of heat. Another little wrinkle right there, so you can lift it back, heat it again. If it's giving you issues, just press it down. But also, this needs to be broken. Fresh blade. Throw that in the trash, don't want to slide on it later. Also, if it's just not laying down for you, you could go ahead and start your cut around these elevated areas. It's just going to allow the wrap to lay down around those elevated areas. Wrapping too deep is crazy. In an auto body procedure, I always wanted to learn how to do wraps. Look like you do really good work. I do, man. I take my time with it. How much for a vet? A vet, that's one of the crazier ones. It'd probably be like $2,750 to $3,000 for a vet. It's just the details are so intricate on that. Also for body work, man, I've had a lot of body shops like come to us and ask us to rewrap pieces from collision and stuff like that. So I feel like at some point, if it's a good body shop, they're gonna hire a wrapper. So if you're working at a body shop, that's a skill you could pick up now so that when they need that skill later on down the road, you can market to them like, hey, you know, you're paying me $25 an hour right now, but I know how to wrap cars too. So you don't have to go, you know, let that work out to anyone. You could keep it all in-house, but I want to get paid $28 an hour, $29 an hour. So it's just another skill you could pick up to make yourself like better for the business, you know, unless you just want to. And also, you know, on top of that, you could be wrapping like hoods and stuff out of your garage in your spare time. You just got to keep it, you know, got to keep in mind where the industry is going. Even if it's, you know, I know there's a lot of body guys who don't like vinyl wraps, but it's like, I know they look at them like almost every week now when a car crashes and somebody's got a vinyl wrap on their car. You know, it's like you could paint it, but their insurance is going to say that they need it rewrapped also. I'm in Asheville, North Carolina. And for me, you know, since I'm a platinum certified iCar collision tech, some of these insurance companies will just be like, oh, well, you could just take it to him to get the body work done, and then, you know, get it rewrapped also. So it's competition. Like, the body shops are going to have to start hiring people who do wraps, or sublet like a smaller contractor out, you know, to come in and do it for a cheaper price. All right, so we got that blue tape on the window trim so that we could tuck it underneath. Then whenever I go to cut, I'm gonna be sliding, like, if this is the window trim, I'm gonna be sliding my blade right on the bottom of it. And I don't wanna stick my blade all the way in there because I don't wanna blade the back of the edge that the trim is sitting on. I wanna barely have my blade in that crack. So it's literally just at the bottom of the trim, sliding it all the way down. All right, and you can go back with some heat. We got no wrinkles, so we didn't overstretch the wrap. So now we just go ahead and lay it down. I don't like to use my squeegee for that. Come back with a tucking tool. All I'm doing is lifting the trim a little bit so I can tuck the wrap underneath. All right. That's how we do that. And then we just got to cut the edges of the door. So come over here. And we're sliding the blade on this panel. That way I have a little bit of wrap that I can wrap around the back edge of the door. Again, not too deep in there. You don't want to blade the actual lip of the of this rear door. Same thing on the other side. Or let me cut this out so we got our piece that we can open the door with. Since I decided not to roll down the windows. Just make sure you always have a way to open the door, or you understand how to open the door. So I put the little piece right there. If I lose that piece, it's gonna be really hard for me to get inside the car. But on the other side, it's actually sticking out. But if this was your only way to get into the car, make sure you have like a little hook so that you could just pull it out. Then I can open the door if I need to. So now, let me just finish trimming out this little bottom edge. Same thing, cutting on the opposite panel with the bottom edge. And then bring y'all over to this side. Ooh, yeah, fluorescent satin pink from Lexus is nice. Oh, Jess, what's up, Jess?
I told you the live was acting crazy yesterday. All right, so same thing. I'm cutting against this panel. I don't want to cut against this panel because I want enough wrap to wrap around the edge. So not cutting into the panel. I like to cant my blade at an angle a little bit so it's off of that panel, but it's like cutting in midair. Because you could cut the wrap off of the other panel if you don't do that. All right. And so whenever it comes to wrapping the rest of the door, cut this little piece out. You don't need that. This edge, you want to go ahead and pre-wrap. Give it some heat so it could go ahead and shrink a little bit. First thing you want to do is run your finger in that crack. After you run your finger in the crack, then you can come back behind with this squeegee. And the squeegee isn't going to lay it all the way down, so I have this special tool that I use for this, this area. I don't know where I got it. Pretty sure it's on Amazon. So it has a hook. I have that glove. I'm from Asheville, North Carolina. So with this tool, I could hook it around the edge and make sure everything's laid down. This area that I can't reach. My favorite tool. You see it? Yeah. Stuff that's a little bit harder to reach, you can use the other side to get in there, lay it down a little bit. As for something like this back edge right here, I could just open the door. Then what I could do from here is just wrap it because it's out in the open area. Just give it some heat, shrink it a little bit. Wrap it around that edge. These corners, you want to hit these first. You push the wrap that way, push the wrap down, and then push it in. That's going to prevent a wrinkle right there. Those bends. Now I just got to do the bottom real quick. Bear with me, I ain't going to bring y'all down here. The next thing we're going to do is this other door. Remember, this other door is a little funky. Hopefully I cut it right. If not, then I got enough wrap to cut out a piece for it. Yeah. So let's see. Let's see if I did a good job. You go get this other piece. A little short over here. Hold on. There's a corner I could stretch to. Oh, just enough. That was a difficult one to cut too. So we barely got full coverage on that. What we do have to do is stretch to this corner, but that's fine because we could stretch from all the way down here and hook it on this corner.
I've been rapping for like 7.5 years now. 2,500 for coupes, 3,000 for sedans, 3,500 for like SUVs, double cab trucks, stuff like that. Prices vary. Like if you have a Supra or something, of course, you can't get the regular coupe pricing because that car is ridiculous. It takes about as long as a SUV to wrap or something. Or if it's like a BMW M4 intricate bumper or something like that, it might be a little different. But standard cars, you get the standard pricing. All right, so like we talked about before, we don't feed the wrap down with the little holding the lining paper on the back. Just pull it all off at once. It's gonna be the easiest way, the quickest way, most efficient way to do it. Pull this wrap all the way off. All right, so I want to glass it. Just come to this side first. Glass it out. Tack this body line down. You could glass it down here. Glass it up here. All right, so like I said before, let's get some magnets. Tack that down, but we got some gaps right there, so tack it down. All right, so like I said, this corner, we're gonna have to stretch to this corner. What films you using? So this is Lexus. All of this stuff back here though is 3M, Avery, KPMF, Oracle, or Lexus. I only use cast films. Calendar films slow me down. They're not durable. They only last like 2 to 3 years. It's not optimal for a solo installer either, so stick to what makes me the most money and makes the customer happy in the long run. Unless they have like a specific color that they want, then I'll do calendar film. Not opposed to it. All right, so just gonna stretch this corner. All right, we safe. We are safe. Okay with tack reducer. Yeah, still there's the problem of them not lasting as long as these films. Where I'm from, it's about longevity. When I was in California, it was more about the colorway. So I was doing nothing but calendar film in California, but out here in North Carolina, everybody's just like thinking that it's something like a paint job and they want it to last long. And I'm just like, it's not what it's for, but the longest thing is, the one that lasts the longest is 3M or Avery, stuff like that. Little wrinkles on the edge over here. Yeah. I do not speak Japanese. I don't know what that is. All right, so now that we got glassed out, wish I knew where my slip was. Go ahead and get this top edge down. All right, so now we got the top edge down. Let's continue to work our way down the panel. Seems like it's floating on the panel pretty good. I don't have to worry about relifting this side, which is very good because you don't have to worry about introducing or possibly introducing any contamination. This is a lot quicker than working your way down with backing paper. I got a reset spot right here I want to work. Work it closer to the body line first. Then I got an airway for the rest of this. Then I can work this last little area right here. Soften it up a little bit. I got one little wrinkle. If I can get it off the car. Okay. Let me just start from down here. Give it a little heat. Oh, let me go back. Let me go back. I ain't gonna miss nothing. What the Atlas, bro, what's wrong with you, bro? You need, I'm like the Michael Jordan meme, stop it. Get some help. Freaky ass dude. Like, what? All right, man. Let's get into this. Hey, if y'all still in the chat, go ahead and throw a like in the chat. Let's try to get the chat boosted back up. Then when you start getting too much into the details, people start leaving. But again, we're gonna do this door cup again. We're going around the edges with our thumb. And the reason we're doing that is because sometimes you could get a wrinkle trapped on the edge. So you wanna make sure those edges are laid down a good amount first. Last thing you wanna do, have your finger in this door cup trying to lift up the wrap over here. Now we're gonna heat it up one more time. Remember, I'm pushing everything this way because I got these two pieces that's holding the wrap up. It's just leaving too big of an airway for me. So I'm gonna take it. All right, so said once it's all worked out, then if you want to, you could come and cut around these high-rise spots. That way the wrap just lays into this area a little bit easier for you. Now when I go to heave it, it's gonna sit down. All right, so little heat. Pushing these recess spots in first. All right, instead of wasting time, because y'all know how to do all that, let's come to this area because we got to work this vinyl into this door jamb a little bit. So pull this back. Get back from that gap. Open the door. All right, let me just get the light over here. There's a 3M pen with a shirt on it. Yeah, we got one in here. I just used the razor. But fold this back over. And this bottom part is kind of short, so we might have to do a, let me pick this up and stretch this edge a little bit so we got more material to work with. Stretching it out and down though. That gives me a little bit more material to work with down here at the bottom. Let's go ahead and trim it out so I'm not fighting with it later. All right, so, hold up, get the light over here better. All right, so first thing we want to attack is this corner, right? What you're gonna need for this is your finger and a squeegee, and that's it. Don't overcomplicate it. So we're gonna be stretching it out a little bit. Putting it down in this crack a little bit, and we're feeding it in. Feeding it up this way. Got these wrinkles right here. We want to push these wrinkles down this way. I'm gonna heat it up. Rub this edge first. My squeegee and a little angle of the wrap. Spread the wrinkles out. So I just took all that tension that was right here in this crack and I spreaded it down this body. Now I can lift the wrap off of that, go back and heat it, and I got glass on these flat areas. Then with this, heat it one more time, and I can rub it across the back edge. That is how you do the door edge. You don't just heat it and try to push the wrap in here. It's gonna bubble out 100% of the time. So I'll bring y'all down so y'all can see the process again. And that was the hardest part of it. Once you get that corner figured out, the rest of it is easy. Because from here, matter of fact, y'all hold up, I gotta get my other phone. I gotta put this into the reel, I forgot. Some of y'all probably gonna leave, but it's all right. Just bear with me. Where my other phone at? Never mind. Can't even find my other phone. I'll just record it on the other side. But yeah. So once you get that, and this is detachable, by the way. So we're just gonna heat it, soften it up. Like I said, rub this edge first. Lift it off of that back piece. And you're gonna squeegee it into that recess spot. Make sure you have a hard squeegee because you really want it to be laid down in that spot before you do anything else. We stretch the wrap on this side, so let me just make sure this bottom edge lays first. Pull that over the edge. Heat it. All right, bottom edge is good. All right, so for the rest of this, you just want to heat up these little wrinkles. They're going to dissipate. You come back with your finger, lay it all down, and then wrap it behind that back edge. I got two little bubbles down here at the very bottom. So I'm gonna relift the wrap to those bubbles. If you see it, there's no pop in it. You have to relieve the tension. So I'm gonna lift it, heat it, attempt to lay them back in that recess, and then go back in glass. All right, so the bubble's gone now. Now, if you want to just solidify, make sure everything's staying or test it out, go with a torch. I can see I got one more line, bubble line right here. So I'm just gonna lift it to that bubble, give it some heat, lay it in here first, and then squeegee outwards. And that looks like all the bubbles. So I don't have to worry about this bubbling out later. Vinyl's still profitable under 3K. Yeah, most vinyl is only $700. Most vinyl is only $700. So you're talking about, if I'm doing like this is a sedan, this is a $3,000 car. The vinyl is like $750. You're talking about $2,250 as profit. And that's per week. So you're able to take home pretty much half of that money with a shop by yourself. Like if you're paying the bills, the utilities, all that at the shop, you could split the profit, half for the shop, half for you, and still take home $4,000 a week and have $4,000 for like shop costs, whether the shop be like $2,000 and, you know, utilities and a receptionist, you know, you got enough money. And that's just you. All right, buddy, let's see some documentation for what?